There is a lot of games to choose from, a lot of stories and journeys to get invested in. But sometimes you come across a game, a story so good, it sticks with you. It stays to haunt your dreams and thoughts. And you can't help yourself but want to talk about it, in length. That's what the Blackwell series is for me. Blackwell Legacy is the first game out of 5 created by Dave Gilbert and developed by Eye Games. The first game in the series was released on December 23, 2006, and this is the story of Rosangela Blackwell and a legacy that spans 5 games. I am Molecule, and I welcome you to Blackwell Legacy. Our story begins like any other, on a bridge, gathering our aunt's ashes into a river. Okay, maybe it does not start like any other story, but that's what makes Blackwell special. It's not like any other story, and that's our introduction to Rosangela Blackwell. Now, after scattering her aunt's ashes and saying a few words to send her aunt off, she attempts to head into her apartment, but is stopped by a temporary doorman due to the old one partaking in a strike, as you do. The doorman points out that he knows everyone in the apartment and has never seen Rosangela before, as thus he can't let her in. It is established that Rosangela is a shy, introverted person, who is not a social butterfly, as she says herself, who likes to keep to herself. It wasn't really told to us per se, it was shown to us, through dialogue and actions taken. Upon looking around, we find a letter in an inventory requesting we visit the hospital where our aunt has been hospitalized in, until her death. The visit to the hospital lets us know that our aunt and her mother both had the same diagnosis and symptoms, and it is possible that we might as well end up the same way. Now the character of Rosangela has been established, the mystery has begun, and the journey has started. All in the first few minutes of the game. Now the real game does not truly begin until after a short while of clicking, as you do in a point-and-click game. You have your neighbor Nishanti vouch for you, so you can get back into your apartment. Also, notice the dog barking, as that will become relevant later. Once in the apartment, you have an envelope containing letters sent from your aunt's brother, our father, filling us in on what happened with our family, our aunt's mother, and our parents. There's also a mysterious name that keeps popping up everywhere. A name that our aunt uttered and her mother screamed and was pointed out multiple times in the letters. Joey. This is where the story starts to truly pick up. As right afterwards we get a phone call from supposedly our boss or Redditor, it's never really established who, to go and investigate a suicide for the newspaper. As we do, we go on location, and the general point-and-click affair begins. Click on things, click on people, click everywhere, and target people, and then click some more. And we are introduced to the notepad mechanic, which is essentially a way of making deductions by combining 2 pieces of information to get a new piece of information. Conversations usually occur as imagine, click a few options and read the dialogue, or listen to it. However, the notepad acts as our interrogation choices. Whilst we're trying to investigate something, we can use the notepad to ask specific questions to further our investigation and get other clues, as thus investigation begins. After talking to people and making a few deductions there and there, we return home due to a headache. The headache turns out to be related to the appearance of the mysterious Joey, who turns out to be a ghost, who then proceeds to tell Rosa that she is in fact a medium, and Joey's a family spirit guide, and he's low-key the reason for why our aunt's mother went insane. And that's where the legacy part of the story comes into play, and will be a constant motif in the series. Now remember that the dog bark is close due to the dogs feeding the park and barking. Remember when Modi barked? Well, as Joey lets us know, the park is haunted and dogs can see, well, spirits, ghosts. Small details such as dogs being able to sense spirits and or see them add so much up to the game. Now we have another mystery in our hands. the mysterious haunting, and we go to investigate in the middle of the night, as we do. It quickly turns out that the ghost in the park is one of the 3 girls in the picture that we previously acquired from Kelly. One of Joanne's friends is haunting the park. This is the point where everything since the beginning of the game, every single thing we learned, heard, and all the questions we have, all come together to create one massive mystery. That is now completely up to us to solve with the help of the amazing spirit guide Joey, voiced by the ever-amazing Dave Gilbert, who clearly had fun with the role.
Be nice, Moti. She's our neighbor. Come in. Moti, be nice.
Just one moment.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
I'm at a loss. He never acts like this. Never.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he had fun. The adventure investigation carries on. After investigating further and further, we find out about Joanne's friends Susan and Ali, and it turns out that the ghost in the park is in fact Ali, and Susan is in Bellevue Hospital after an attempted suicide. As you continue to broaden us around, you find out that the 3 played with an Ouija board, and summoned a mysterious figure named the Deacon, who has driven them all to the brink of insanity, to the point of suicide. This is the finale, the end of the first chapter. We finally end up confronting the Deacon, who turns out to be an insane ghost, driven insane due to the fear of another mysterious being after him. The Deacon, an alcoholic and miserable man in life, a murderer in death, has a being like no other after him. Yeah, fuck it! It's Dave Gilbert, there's a bloody demon, all bets are off, it's time to run! Now, once you've gotten past the drama of Dave Gilbert being a demon, you may now talk to both the demon and Deacon until you figure out that the flask that the Deacon carries is a symbolic representation of his sins. So what do? You crush it to 1,000,000 pieces.
It is done. The sins have been abolished from this place. And my claim on you, dead one, is gone.
As now everything's better and the Deacon can freely go to whatever awaits him in the great paint spray to light. And that is the end of the first chapter in the large story that was just started by this game. Once I can praise a lot of aspects of this game, such as the music, sound effects, voice acting, narrative design, parts of it does feel rushed, and it is most likely the shortest game in the series. But all of that is fine, as this game did do its job. This game started a legacy that will be continued for 4 other games. A story that will continue evolving and growing as the games grow. Each individual game evolves and grows as the character and narrative evolves and expands. I will very much compare the Blackwell series to a massive episodic series, as it very much reminds me of an episodic structure that most shows have. You have a beginning that sets up the world and characters, and then as the show continues, the narrative grows with twists and turns until the finale of the show, where it is a culmination of everything that happened prior to it. So, if you're planning on buying this game series, without question, start from the first one and play them in order, as the experience is fundamentally better then. Each game in the Blackwell series has a theme that a specific story in the game revolves around. Whilst there is a constant motif between all the games, each individual game has its own story to tell as well. The first game is all about legacy, and that is purely because it is the first game. And every game afterwards also carries on that motif of legacy that is intertwined in the overall narrative. The overall narrative is expanded upon in all the games, progressing it till the finale. But right next to that, there is stories. Miserable, sad, beautiful, realistic stories. Stories that will pull you on your heartstrings and make you think. Rosangela Blackwell and Joey Malone are an amazing duo, and the stories they are in are equally as brilliant. This game series is one of my top 3 favorite point-and-click series, so if you even remotely are interested in adventure point-and-click games, this is one series that I highly recommend. The dialogue, witty cheeky comments, the passion that went into this game can be seen at every corner. This is a brilliant game through and through, where the characters actually feel like they're people. Amazing, I know, right? The interactions you have feel natural, and although the voice acting is a bit iffy at certain parts, it's still amazing and does its job very well. There's also value in replaying the game, as different dialogue choices do cause different interactions, which is a constant running trend in majority of Dave Gilbert's games, and is later expanded upon in his later games. The title of the game is fitting, as it did start a legacy, and there is a lot to love about this game, thus, get the game. Maybe Part 2 will come soon. Yes, I know, I have not uploaded a proper video in a few hundred centuries. My apologies. I'll try to make more proper game reviews, retrospectives and what have you. Promise. Kind of. Maybe. Now, if you want to see a part 2 or see me do more of these types of videos, let me know in the comment section below and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It does help out a lot. Now, before I end, I want to thank my patrons. Crash Dog. Love you, buddy. That's it for this time. See you all next time.